pleased to present for your consideration.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Jabberbox Podcast, Episode 7. I'm one of your hosts, Andy Bond, and with me today is the Icy Blues of the Desert, Dan Singleton, back from his vacation. If you're joining in for the first time, then you should know that this is a show about the two of us as we ramble through pop culture topics, such as, but not limited to, games, movies, shows, whatever else we want to jabber about. Some housekeeping for you. You can get the show over on youtube.com/dandydigital or over on Spotify and iTunes by searching Jabberbox and hitting that subscribe button. If you like what you hear and want to be part of the show, head on over to patreon.com/dandydigital and drop us some emails. Now let's get to the show. Dan, welcome back, buddy. How you doing?
Hey, what's going on, everyone? What's going on, Andy? How are you?
I'm doing much better today. And I believe yesterday. Yeah, party yesterday.
What's been going on? What did I miss?
My AC went out over there for the last couple days, so it's been real fucking shit. It's been about 95 degrees in this house for fucking 48 hours, and we finally got that fixed. So now we cranked it down to 60 because we need to take that for granted again.
I can definitely relate when a year ago, actually, almost to the day, a year ago, both of my air conditioning units went out. Yeah. So I get it. It sucks.
Yeah, it was a Freon issue. I guess they went too low, and the rental company that we go through sucks. They never send anybody out for any sort of, maintenance or anything like that, any sort of checkup. So they just kind of wait for a shit to break, and then we have to call them.
Yeah, shocker.
Yeah. Invitation home.
At least it's fixed. At least it's fixed now.
Yeah, it is fixed now, which is awesome. And then we also upgraded our internet because Mary started her new job, and her computer was having some fucking issues, and we were on an old modem with Cox. So I took it in, and they actually said that we're on outdated hardware. And then the price that we were paying is higher than what we should be paying. So so they're like, well, we can knock that down. It's actually going to be much cheaper. And I started talking to them about Gigablast, and they're like, well, it's actually going to be like $5 cheaper than what you're paying now. So I got a lower bill and better internet. So and
I'm willing to bet that they weren't willing to go back and look at everything and be like, oh, you were paying more than you should have, but we're just going to keep that money.
Oh, yeah. They're not going to say anything. That's why they don't tell us when they make the changes. They don't go through their system and try to,
of course not.
Create any sort of, I don't want to say compensation, but like corrections, So it is what it is. Whatever. It works now. The internet works now. The AC works now, So
and life is good.
Yeah, I'm stoked. So, and it's really fucking neat, So I was going around testing download speeds and shit like that for everything around the house, like a fucking geek. So it was neat. But that's what was over on this end, enjoying the storms that were coming in. The Saturday that we had the fucking rainstorm just all day. So I don't know if I showed you some of the pictures, but like we couldn't see the rocks in our backyard. They were completely underwater.
Oh yeah,
and it was kind of
it was the same. It was very close to the same thing out here too.
Yeah. So how was Colorado?
It was amazing as always. It's been way too long since I'd been out there. Got to visit with some friends that are probably listening to this podcast right now, and just got to hang out in the mountains. And I just unplugged. Honestly, like if I wasn't down in Colorado Springs or Denver when we were up in the mountains, I didn't have my phone going. I didn't have my computer with me at all. I didn't play. I didn't do any, it was super minimal on screen time.
That's good. You need to unwind and unconnect, unhook yourself from the fucking teat of technology.
It was not. I just sat out on a deck and in a cabin in the mountains with a view that it rained a lot when we were up there, especially in the afternoons. Not like it was here. It was just like a nice, pleasant, cool rain. And it hampered the view a little bit once in a while. But on those clear days, and you could easily see like 200 miles.
Awesome.
From where we were.
How many trees did you cut down?
None this trip.
How many trees did you want to cut down?
Yeah. There's one or maybe two that probably need to go because they're actually like proposing a danger to the building. But that's for another trip.
That's for next year.
Yeah, maybe.
It's for Christmas. Go up there
and next time I will use a chainsaw because the first time I did it, I was stubborn and they had a chainsaw and they're like, "Do you want to use this?" I was like, "No, I'm Mountain Man Dan right now, and I'm gonna do this with an axe and a saw," and that took me like a week.
Well, I mean, but you can say you've done it.
I did,
you know. So you had that experience. It sucked, maybe, you know, after it was said and done, but you don't have to do it again. You know what it's like, so
yeah. I mean, so. Full disclosure, I didn't actually drop the tree with the axe. I was very close, and it got to the point where we weren't sure if we were going to be able to control where it fell. So we needed to be a little more exact. So they did come in at the very end just to make sure it fell where we needed it. But I did the heavy lifting with the axe part, and I understand the safety, so I'm not even mad about it.
So you're going to have to do it again with an axe.
Yeah.
Just to say you fell it.
I'll have to go where there's no building within range and then drop one.
Do it.
I'll get there.
And then use your GoPro and do a time-lapse video.
Just strap it on the side of my head and
well, not even that. You can put it on a tripod. Just
that's true.
Watch you go at it from different angles or whatever, and then
that'd be a really good use of a time-lapse video for a GoPro.
That would be awesome. And if you do it in a little bit of distance, well, I mean, I think right before you do like the last couple strikes, that would really knock it over. That's when you put it on. So if it starts to fall, you can actually move out of the way and still see it without it, you know, burying your GoPro.
Yeah, right.
But that's cool. So you're fully charged up in Colorado Springs. So
yeah, it was really nice. And like I said, I just unplugged for pretty much the whole time and got some reading done with a good old fashioned book. No e-reader. Paper bound book.
Tom Clancy?
No, it was actually a new release from Andy Weir called Project Hail Mary.
What's
this is the same guy that wrote The Martian.
Okay.
The one that was made into the movie with
phenomenal movie.
Damon. It was a great movie, and it was a really great book. And I read his second book, which was called Artemis. A little bit disappointing. It wasn't terrible, but it was disappointing in comparison to The Martian. And I think he has returned to form with Project Hail Mary. It wasn't as good as The Martian. I think that'll be his pinnacle. I don't want to speak. I hope it's not his pinnacle, but there's a strong possibility that he may not be able to outdo it because it's so phenomenal.
Right.
But Project Hail Mary is a pretty good book. Super enjoyable. He went back to his roots of really focusing on solving unusual, not real life problems, but plausible in the future kind of problems of using science and things like that. So the premise is there's these organisms that show up in our solar system. And organisms, I mean like microscopic, single cell kind of stuff. And they show up and they are living basically on the surface of the sun. And they're multiplying, which diminishes the amount of sunlight hitting the Earth. So they do the math and they figure out that after so much time, they're going to block so much sunlight that Earth's going to die. And they start looking around at all the all the stars around us, nearest ones. And they see that their light is diminishing as well. So they assume that wherever these things came from, they're spreading. But then they notice that there's one star that's pretty close to us that isn't. So they put people basically into a deep hibernation, stasis, and they send them on a 4-year trip over to that star to figure out what the hell's going on over there. Why isn't that star dimming when everything else around it is infected? And then they're supposed to send back the data they call them beetles. They're like little they just carry data. And and they're supposed to send them back when they figure it out. And I won't say any more than that because I don't want to start giving stuff away. But it's pretty good, and I enjoyed it a lot. Yep. Martian, I would say. So the Martian, I would say, is more science than fiction. Obviously, being on Mars is fiction right now, right? We don't have anyone there. But that was more science and then fiction, or fantasy. And whereas this book is more, it's heavy on the science, but it increases that fiction fantasy a little more than The Martian did. So, gotcha. Yeah, I enjoyed it a lot. That's read awesome. It all in like a day and a half.
How many pages is it?
I don't remember. 400-ish, maybe 450.
That's not bad. That's easy. That's standard, I guess. Wasn't The Martian more? I thought that was a pretty big book.
Well, I'm looking at them right now. Both. They're right next to each other on my bookshelf. And Project Hail Mary is larger, but it's also hardcover, and my copy of The Martian is not, so it's probably not a fair comparison.
So The Martian was 369 pages.
Okay.
And then, let's see here. At 496 for Project Hail Mary.
496, so it was like 500. Okay, well then. It felt like a lot less than that because it went by so quick and I enjoyed it so much.
That's I highly recommend. I like when books do that. I hate when books they seem like really short, 300 pages even, and it just slogs on. Like it just sucks, Yeah,
I highly recommend it for anyone that likes that genre. And I don't even read that genre too often. Most of what I read when I read are things like biographies. So
yeah,
I don't branch out of that too often anymore. And when I do, I really tend to gravitate to authors I know I like, and Andy Weir is one of them. And I was not disappointed by Project Hail Mary.
Awesome, that's cool. I'll check that out. So for Project Hail Mary, does it follow everybody that was sent out, or is it both, like there and here, trying to figure out what the issue is?
So it does bounce around a little bit because when they get there and they wake up, there's an amnesia effect from their hibernation.
Okay, hibernation sickness.
Yeah, so they're like, who the hell are we? What are we doing here? Like, what the hell is this robot arm that keeps coming out and giving us, like, what is it? It's asking questions to try to, like, establish that they're coherent enough. So, the robot on the ship won't let them into the command center until they answer, like, what's your name? Oh, wow. And so they're sitting there. They're like, well, I mean, and they have to piecemeal together everything as they go.
That sounds neat.
Yeah.
All right, I'll check that out. I'll put it on my list. That'll sit there for a couple of years before I actually read it. But it sounds interesting. Well, I mean, I have a bunch of books, that are just waiting to be read, and unfortunately, I'm not a heavy reader these days.
Yeah, my next books, I should say, that I want to tackle. I have is it 3 or 4? I don't remember if it's a 3 or 4 part set of the life and times of Teddy Roosevelt.
That sounds boring to me.
I think it sounds pretty interesting.
Yeah, I'm sure. Well, that's what you said. You like your biographies, so I'm not a biography type person most of the time. So I'm not trying to knock it down. Just putting my opinion out there.
It's been sitting on my shelf for about a year, and I just haven't gotten around to it yet. So
yeah,
I really need to pull my head out of my ass and get to it.
Yeah, I've been trying to get back to reading, trying to do like an hour or two, hour and a half or whatever before bed, to pull me off the screens, because I don't want to be playing a game or watching a show up until it's time to go to bed, because then I don't want to go to sleep. So I'll go lay in bed and bring on a book. So. But
not a terrible plan.
Yeah, it really isn't. So, but speaking of like TVs and stuff and such, what are you up to on the on your MCU chronological watch through?
Well, because I was in Colorado and I was unplugged, I haven't gotten as far as I may have liked, but I did get through Iron Fist, and I am now on Daredevil season 3.
So are you done with Iron Fist? Like
I am.
Okay.
I am. And after slogging through the dog shit that was Cloak and Dagger, I really enjoyed Iron Fist season 2. Like,
it wasn't as bad as everyone made it out to be, to me anyway.
Yeah.
But
season 1 was pretty slow. And I got a little frustrated with Iron Fist both seasons, because he's supposed to be this like the best warrior, one of the best warriors to ever live, and has this special, has the, you know, the superpower of the Iron Fist and blah blah, and he constantly gets his ass beat, and it just distracts. Now I understand there's the Superman dilemma of if you make him too powerful, then it's kind of boring. I get that. But like, he'll get in fights with just some random dudes on the street who will like slice him with a knife in a fight. Just like, come on.
Yeah, that kind of shit sucks. I think they had a lot more planned for following seasons before the whole Netflix Marvel divorce, you know, the breakup. So
yeah, probably.
I think it was going in a way that was going to make him awesome. You know what I mean? Where he was going to have more of the glowing fists, you know, more of, you know, tapping into his actual power, stop being such a child. But
well, I mean, at the end of season 2, I spoiler alert for anyone watching and cares about Iron Fist. We'll give them a minute. Hold on. Okay, so at the end of season 2, he didn't even have it anymore. Like, yeah. It wasn't so.
But he was going to get it back. You know, it's
I don't know what the hell they had planned, but he didn't even have it anymore.
I would like to actually know what they had planned for all the other shows. You know what I mean? All the Netflix Marvel shows, I wanted to see where you guys were going to go with that, especially with Daredevil, you know, Luke Cage and all that. So unfortunately,
I feel like they wrapped up Luke Cage pretty well considering the circumstances.
Yeah, they left it open-ended, which is nice because it's not like his life was ending right there. You know, he was taking over, he was starting a new era. So it's kind of left up to the interpretation of the viewer as to what he did with that, you know, but I would have still liked to have watched that. But it is what it is. So Daredevil is awesome. I really love Daredevil. I like season 3. I think season 2 was better. But season 3 was nice, and it definitely gave me that need of wanting more once I was done with it.
It doesn't surprise me that you say season 2 is probably better, even though I haven't seen season 3 yet, because season 2 led up to the Defenders, and I like the Defenders series. So what is season 3 building to? I don't know.
Right. But, I mean, there's all those rumors that were going around that Charlie Cox was going to be coming back, you know, reprising his role as Daredevil in one of the movies. I think it was the Spider-Man movie, you know, with the whole multiverse or On the Way Home. So I'm sure he'll make a cameo, which would be really fucking neat. So I think I like him as the actor and, you know, and as what he did for that type of character. I think he did it very well, and I would like to see more. Even if Disney were to give Daredevil their own show on Disney Plus, bring him back in. You know,
I'd love to see Vincent D'Onofrio get some sort of spinoff or at least more screen time in future Daredevil stuff as Kingpin.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. He did a very good job. Yeah. And I think he's actually stated that he wants to do more. So if, you know, he put it out there that he's willing to do it. And I think Charlie Cox did the same thing. So we're just waiting on the stars to align to give us more.
Okay.
So, what speaking of,
you've been up to?
Well, so I've been watching Ted Lasso.
Okay.
Have you seen the trailers or anything for that?
I have not.
So it stars Jason Sudeikis. He plays an American football coach that I think it was for college football. And he goes over to the United Kingdom and he starts coaching soccer. So football over there. Right. He's from Arkansas, I believe, in the show. So he's got.
So are we talking football or football?
Football. So
soccer.
He goes from coaching college football to he then coaches football. It is such a heartwarming, charming show, man. We watch from episode 1. It fucking knocks it out of the park to where you like this character, you like what he's about, you like what he's doing. You know, they have their drama in there because they have to have their story points to push it, but it's done very fucking well. We're watching season 1. So season 2, I think, just started. Season 1, we're on episode 7 now. We have to start. We're going to watch 7 tonight, maybe 8. We'll see how that goes. There's 10 episodes in this season. Very fucking good, man. So I knew that this was coming out because I saw a trailer when Apple was doing their thing, or something happened where I saw the trailer and I was like, this looks really fucking cool. I like the premise from the trailer. I like the actor. Jason Sudeikis is always funny in everything he's in, right? So, and then they're like, it's Apple TV. And I was like, fuck, I don't want to subscribe to another fucking service, you know? So I just never got around to watching it. I was on Twitter the other day and they were doing a promo. I don't know if it's still going on with PlayStation, where they brought the app over to PlayStation. So PS4 and PS5, and they were giving 6 months free. So it's like, nice. Okay, fuck it. You have to have an Apple ID, which I do, you know, so I downloaded it, signed in, got my 6 months free. I said, okay, let's watch. You know, I showed Mary the trailer for Ted Lasso episode 1. She said she was interested. We played it, and holy man, like I fucking love that show. If I knew this show was this good, I would have subscribed to it and probably booted one of the other services out of here.
Wow.
Yeah, it's very fucking good, and it kind of works out. So like my Disney Plus and Hulu are now the bundle that goes through my cell phone bill. So I get that just for having unlimited through Verizon. So I actually have space for another service, which will probably be Apple TV, because we've watched a couple trailers. There's an M. Night Shyamalan show that's on there that looks really good. It's about, you know, this family who lost their baby. So the mom has a doll that's trying to help her cope with that. And then they bring in a nanny, and the nanny's fucking weird, you know, so it's going to become this whole, you know, twist thing, I'm sure. So we're going to check that out. We're going to check out Mythic, you know, I think it's Mythic Quest, you know, that has, what's his name from It's Always Sunny.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Rob McElhenney.
Yeah. So we're going to watch that one, but Ted Lasso is what we've been watching. This is what's making us really want to keep Apple TV. I highly recommend it to anybody who wants to just fucking, if you like binge watching, subscribe for a month, binge watch, you know, all of season 1 and then part of season 2, or just get it, you know, keep it for up until the end of season 2 if you don't, you know, and then you can cancel it or whatever. But Ted Lasso needs to be on your radar for sure.
Ted Lasso, okay.
It's
all right.
Very fucking good, man. It's so good.
I'll give it the old college try.
Yeah, I don't
have anything else on my radar right now anyway, so that gets added to the list.
So that's what I've been watching. That's what you've been watching. What we have watched was Scarlet or Black Widow, right? You said you watched that?
Yeah, I saw it opening day.
Okay. Yeah, we talked about that. Okay. So Scarlett Johansson is actually suing Disney because of the streaming of Black Widow on Disney Plus.
That's a bold move, Cotton.
Well, I mean, she's died, so they're not bringing her back, and they did the last movie. So essentially,
right, but they're getting ready to do multiverse stuff. So I mean,
well, she's not going to be part of it.
Yeah, I guess not.
So the original story per IGN says Scarlett Johansson is suing Disney over a Black Widow contract breach after the movie was released day and date on Disney Plus. This is despite Johansson's contract reportedly assuring her the movie would be released exclusively in theaters. The news comes way of the Wall Street Journal, which reports a large part of Johansson's salary was based on the movie's box office performances in theaters, much like they did with Robert Downey Jr. and I'm sure a couple of the other actors. Because the movie was released on to Disney Plus day and date. Sources familiar with the lawsuit say the move to streaming cost Johansson more than $50 million.
Yeah, I believe that. And I have no problem with her doing it. If it's in the contract, Disney can go fuck itself.
Right. I mean, I get that too. So there was an update as well. So the update was that New York Times reporter Brooks Barnes has shared parts of a statement Disney has given in response to Johansson's lawsuit. According to Barnes, Disney gives, quote, no merit whatsoever, unquote, to the lawsuit and says it is, quote, sad and distressing in its callous disregard for the horrific and prolonged global effects of the COVID-19 pandemic, unquote. So I see what they were doing. They know that Marvel is going to be such a juggernaut movie. And so they made that decision to put it in theaters where it was safe to do so. Safe, whatever. And then they put it on their streaming service where a lot of us, including myself, watched it. So you saw it in theaters. I saw it at home. You know what I mean? Because the way that it worked out. So I see both. And I see that she's actually probably going to get this because in her contract, it was part of it.
I'm not saying what Disney did in deciding to do streaming was right or wrong.
Right.
What I'm saying is that if it was in her contract, that's the end of it. Like, that's what was agreed upon. End of story.
Right. So what they said also, the update continues. Barnes also reports that Disney says it is, quote, fully complied with Miss Johansson's contract, unquote, and that releasing Black Widow on Disney Plus Premier Access, quote, has significantly enhanced her ability to earn an additional compensation on top of the $20 million she has received to date, end quote. So
they'll settle.
They'll settle. They were still getting money. Maybe not as much. It was $30. Okay, it was $30 for me to stream it, right? And that is that's 4 people's worth of tickets at the movie theater if we went at roughly. Oh, just under, because it's $9. It'd be about $9.50 per person, unless the kids get a cheaper price. I'm not sure about that.
Or you go to sit like later in the day.
Yeah,
I get what you're saying.
Earlier.
Like, we're cutting hairs here.
Right.
That's semantics.
She is still getting some money, but I can see where, like you said, they're probably going to settle because of how the contract was worded, and I bet you that they revise any future contracts.
Oh, for sure.
Like straight.
And that contract was signed before COVID.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying, again, like Disney agreed to it, and circumstances can change, but tough shit. That's a contract. I mean, didn't the story just recently come out about how Matt Damon was offered a role in Avatar for like 10% of profits and he turned it down?
I think so. Somebody did, because they didn't think the movie was going to do well.
Right. So, like, if that had been the contract and then they found a way to not give him that, sorry, that's the contract. Give it to him.
Right.
Yeah, I don't care what the circumstances are. Like,
well, I mean, that's how I think the way Robert Downey Jr. did the same thing, where he worded it in such a way that he got his money up front, he got money from the box office, and then he gets money from all sales of the movie from here on out until they stop doing that. So, and that's every appearance that he's made. So, and him being one of the first, you can call Captain America the first Avenger, but Robert Downey Jr. was the first Avenger. You know what I mean? So he was in a lot of movies.
Well, I think they called Captain America's movie the first Avenger.
Well, yeah, because of the timeline. But
not because it was the first Avenger.
I get it. That's my thing. But so he was in a lot of movies. So that guy, he worded it pretty well for his cash.
Well, his attorneys did.
Well, he paid for him.
That's fair. Well, I guess in a way Disney paid for him.
That's true. Yeah, so with that though, we'll see how that plays out. I'll definitely be keeping an eye on it to see if they do settle, and we'll probably talk about it once it does come to a conclusion. But they also announced that Disney Plus is going to be doing their Hawkeye show, which we knew was coming. and that will be premiering on November 24th.
So I wonder if they're going to incorporate the credits scene of Black Widow into Hawkeye's show.
I don't think they will now.
But it's not Scarlett Johansson.
That's true.
So, I mean, doors wide open.
Yeah. She's going to be coming in. She's going to be in a bunch of movies. I bet you if she doesn't play any big role in Hawkeye, she will be showing up at the end. And then we'll be like, oh, shit. And then either she'll be season 2 or she'll be in the next movies. Because if it goes the way that it's, that sounds like it's going to go, she'll be part of the Dark Avengers.
Yeah. I'm a little confused on how they're even going to play that out. Just because, like, again, spoiler alert for anyone that hasn't seen Black Widow yet. 3, 2, 1. Okay, fair game. In Black Widow, when they're running from what's that character's name? When they go into the subway and they climb into the air vents.
Taskmaster?
Yeah, Taskmaster. When they're running from her and they end up in those air vents, Black Widow was explaining how her and Clint hung out up there for like 4 days and how they were super good friends and blah, blah, blah. And then some random person in the cutscenes comes up and is just like, hey, here's your next assignment. This person's responsible for killing your sister. Like, how are they going to play that out when she knows that they were like really good friends?
I've seen plenty of movies. I've seen plenty of shows, and I'm sure that shit's happened in real life where we can be the best of friends, but something happened and you had to die because I wanted to live. That's going to, ruffle some feathers. So
yeah, but the story of what they did to beat Thanos, that can't possibly be some great big mystery. Like that's probably not difficult information to find out.
Well, they weren't on
what really happened.
But they weren't on Earth, so it could have been, anybody's word. And if you she's grown up with a lot of, lies being fed to her, misinformation to direct her in one way. You know what I mean? So it's not out of the realm to do that. I don't know. Yeah. We'll see. Or she tries to fight Hawkeye the entire show, and at the end she realizes that wasn't the case. So
yeah, I guess we'll find out.
We will find out November 24th. So
well, you will. I won't.
I don't know. You could catch up.
I might be able to. Yeah.
I think you would be able to. So
I hope so. You watching anything else?
No, I see it. Well,
have you been watching the Olympics?
No, I didn't even know they were going on until somebody showed me that they were playing like Final Fantasy music in the opening. I'm not an Olympics person. I don't really care. I think the last time I actually watched anything from the Olympics was when we had our USA Dream Team in basketball.
That was a minute ago.
Yeah. So, I don't. I mean, if I catch it, it's definitely in passing. I don't know who's going to what, who's winning what. Olympics were never my thing.
Let's see. In 3 years, it's going to be in Paris, and in 7 years, it's going to be in LA.
That'll be interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm actually considering maybe trying to go when it's in LA.
You should. Just to do it.
I mean, it doesn't come to the United States that often. I mean, it's been a few times in our lives, but it's not so often that you can just rely on it being here at some point.
When was the last time they were here?
Well, the Winter Olympics were in Salt Lake, and the last time it was here for Summer Olympics, was that Atlanta? I think it might have been Atlanta, 96.
So Atlanta, 96. Winter last, like 2018?
No. When was Salt Lake? Like 2002?
Oh, okay. So it's been even a while for that.
Yeah, it's been a while, I think. Unless I'm completely missing something. I don't think. Let's see. 2000 was Sydney. 2004 was Athens. 2008 8 was Beijing, 12 was London, 16 was Rio, and then now it's in Tokyo, then Paris, then LA. So since 2000, it definitely hasn't been here. So yeah, 96 was the last time the Summer Olympics were here.
Fuck, that's crazy. Anything worth mentioning? Anything that's been sticking out?
Just the drama with Simone Biles and the U.S. women's gymnastics team. But
I saw that somebody backed out because of outfits or something.
And she is clearly the best at what she does.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of I don't honestly even know the full story. Some people say she has an injury. Some people say she backed out for mental health. Some people say she backed out because they were screwing with her scoring and it pissed her off. I honestly don't know. All I know is that she backed out and is just nope, I'm done. So why? I don't know for sure.
Right. Yeah, I saw something about wardrobe, but
that was a thing with what team was that? Was it the Swedish or Finnish volleyball team? It was a women's volleyball team from somewhere in Europe, I think. And they were mandating that they wear bikini bottoms that could not exceed certain measurements. And it was just very exposed. And so they were like, well, what if we would just want to wear shorts? They're like, nope, can't do that. So they're protesting that.
I mean, it's stupid that they can't wear shorts. Just let them fucking play the game, you know?
Honestly, when you're at the Olympic level, you can just wear whatever the hell you want. You qualified for the fucking Olympics.
Right.
I don't know why we're micromanaging shit like that.
I don't know. No, but I haven't been watching anything else really. So I've been actually playing games as one does. That's, so we played Halo, which was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
That was actually a lot of fun. I really did enjoy that. So the Sunday before you went on vacation, you, myself, one of our friends, we got together, played through half of the campaign on Halo Reach Legendary. So was
that before I left or after I got back?
I think it was before you left.
Wasn't it just this past week? It was just this past weekend.
It's 2 weeks.
Wow, that went by quick. Okay.
Yeah. So we played that. So we'll be playing that again. If it's not this week, it'll be next week, probably, maybe. It depends. Well, we'll reach out and see what schedules are like. But it was fun. I enjoyed it. Even, certain parts where we died, it was still funny. The shit that we were getting to, trying to put a warthog in I think it was the warthog, right? In the elevator. It just blew us up. Shit like that. I had a lot of fun. It made me think about, years previous where we got together and fucked around on games as a group. So it was neat. So what did you think going back to Halo?
I had a ton of fun. I hadn't played Halo in probably a year.
Yeah. What was
because you can only play so much Halo by yourself before you're just okay.
Right.
So it was nice to have people to play with.
Yeah, which is why I wanted to play the other ones with somebody. It's I played through all of Halo 1 and I was like, okay, I would play this again, with somebody, which I think we were starting to do, and then
I still don't completely understand why achievements were popping for some of us and not others. I was confused by that.
On par. Yeah, I don't know why that was too, because the 2 of 3 of us got that fucking achievement at the same time. So I don't understand why you weren't getting those scores.
Yeah, I don't know.
So.
Oh, well, that just means I'll have to go back and get them. No biggie.
We'll fucking go through. But I'm excited to play through the second part of Halo Reach. And then I think we're going to jump into Halo 3. Is that a 4-player game, I think is what they were saying?
Yeah, I think so.
ODST, something like that. But whatever gets us through, I'd like to play it. So I was having fun with that one. I picked up... Well, I didn't pick up. It's free. So I'm playing Contra Returns on the phone now. So that's pretty neat. It's a little tricky, doing the whole joystick shit on the screen, but I'm liking it. I'm signing in for the last couple of days. It only came out, I think, Monday. So
okay.
I'm playing that for a little bit as well, because it's part of Apple Arcade, I think, or it's maybe not. So I I don't remember what the splash screen is, but it's really cool. So if you like Contra, check it out. It's a side scroller, just like the original. The music is there. They're adding story and a bunch of different characters. It's all high res, models. So it's not like the NES, but you fight shit from the first one, and they'll do like a splash screen when something comes up. So you'll run up and you see that wall, that had like the two cannons and the guy on the top. So you see that, and then it does you see like the 8-bit model of it, and it talks about what it is, and they're like, this is the new version. So the Contra on the NES happened, and now we're just happening to go through this similar story, and it's kind of like loosely a sequel. They're like, holy shit, like how did they, like, we've taken this out before, and then you kill it, and then it like lifts up and there's another one underneath it, and they're like, how do you get two of those? So it's fucking silly, but I'm having a lot of fun. I like Contra, and I think it's nice to be able to play a Contra game that's fun as opposed to the last one, which was fucking garbage. So that's what I've been playing. What about you?
Well, for me, what I've been playing, obviously, having gone to Colorado and been, kind of unplugged for that time, I was kind of limited to phone games the little bit I did play, but I decided to open up Clash of Clans, and I went in there. My account had been dormant for 3 years, two or 3 years. I hadn't really done anything, and I hopped in. I went back with a friend of mine to. Actually, somebody in my family. I joined their clan, and I'm back in it. We'll see how long that lasts.
Yeah, full steam ahead.
Full steam ahead. It's changed a lot since I last played. A lot of little things. Nothing major. No like earth shattering. Like holy shit, they've changed everything. It just a little bit of balance tweaking since I last played. Nothing, no big deal. But I'm back into it for now, and sure that'll last another couple weeks at least.
Yeah.
The other one is, so that's revisiting 10-year-old games. Now I'm revisiting also a 20-ish-year-old game called Rise of Nations. So I mean, we played that back in high school,
right? And
somebody sent out a text message recently and was just like, "Hey, it's on Steam. Let's go play." So we all went and downloaded it, and sure as shit, we fucking played a game and had fun. And that game is a big learning curve. There's so much to forget, and it's a pretty intensive, detailed game as far as like managing your economy and your citizen population, and it's a lot of fun though. So revisiting that. So nice. Yeah, it's just been a lot of older games pretty much.
Well, that's awesome. Between Clash of Clans, Rise of Nations, Halo, and Contra.
Yeah, we're going old school.
Yeah, we're old school. But speaking of new school with the current gen consoles, so the PlayStation 5 sells over 10 million units sold, which is what they came out with, I think, yesterday. And they were talking about that. So, which is an awesome milestone, especially in the middle of a pandemic when you can't find it, when there's chip shortages and shit like that. So I actually wanted to talk about that a little bit because somebody reached out to me and they were saying that was complete bullshit, that they reached 10 million units. Which it's not that far out of the realm. It came out last November. While we can't find it in stores, it's still selling, PlayStation had come out and they said that they were working on getting, I don't know, X amount of X million units out for the launch, right? Even if they hit a snag, which it was reported they were running into the chip shortage and they were going to have to shave off a couple million. They were projecting maybe 4 million off of the launch, consoles that were going to be available. Right. Which would put them at 11 million still at that point. which they've come out with. At that time, they said that they denied that, right? So it's not out of the realm of possibility to sell the 10 million. Now, I actually did look it up to see where Xbox was, to see if there was any sort of numbers. And there was something on the NPD charts and a couple articles, I think, through Bloomberg or one of those magazines. I can't recall, unfortunately. But they did state that the Xbox Series X/S is the fastest selling console for all Xbox consoles to date. So that's what Microsoft said. So congrats on that. And as of June 30th, 2021, Microsoft has sold 6.5 million units. Right? So it's been...
Those numbers seem completely plausible to me.
Right.
Like, I don't find 10 million out of the realm of possibility. I don't find that to be bullshit.
Right. I don't think it's bullshit either. I think people are just, blowing steam out there because they can't find them. But when you compare it to what Xbox has sold, that's also a believable number, right? PlayStation, it's been stated that PlayStation 5 was outselling the Xbox. I think it was like 3-1 or 2-1 or something like that. So the numbers do seem to match what they were supposed to do as of launch. So
yeah, and the logic of that doesn't make sense, by the way. If somebody is complaining about PlayStation saying they sold 10 million units, and then somebody saying that's bullshit because I can't find it in the store, wouldn't logic kind of say if it's fucking sold out everywhere, then they've sold a bunch of them?
Right.
Like, that's stupid fucking logic. If you can't find it, that means they sold them all. So you would think the number would be higher,
right,
not lower. Come on.
Right. And you have to take into effect that these scalpers are still out there fucking grabbing that shit like crazy. So that's probably the other reason why you're not finding it in stores either, is because these fucking scalpers. Go on Amazon right now. Go on eBay or whatever the fuck. Craigslist, if you're feeling adventurous, and look up, and look up to see what people are selling there. They're there. So people have them and they're flipping them. I mean, I've seen pictures of both Series X and PlayStation 5s where it looks like these motherfuckers have 10 consoles stacked up in a pyramid in their living room that they're taking a picture of with a piece of paper showing that this is actually theirs and they're selling it. So scalpers are a huge fucking problem why you can't find it in stores, on top of the chip shortages. But 10 million units sold for PlayStation, 6.5 million units sold for Xbox is, seems correct. I mean, I'm not an actual numbers guy, but I'm just basing off of the reports and shit like that. And it's a milestone for both consoles. That's awesome. In the middle of a pandemic, in the middle of all these scalpers, in the middle of a chip shortage, PlayStation is outselling, if it continues at this pace, it's outselling PlayStation 4. And Xbox, even though they weren't pushing their new consoles as hard as their previous consoles because they're trying to build the ecosystem. So now we have the computer. They're trying to put it into the TVs. They're trying to put it, hopefully, with Game Pass, trying to put that on the Steam Deck that's coming out and stuff like that. They're building a whole ecosystem. Even with that, they're still selling their consoles pretty high, and that's awesome, So
for sure,
that's what I was checking out. And then, I'm still looking into the Valve Steam Deck. Have you seen that at all? Have you checked that out?
I'll look more into it when it actually comes out.
So, well, before we jump into that, what's up?
Hey, Half-Life 3
portable. We'll see. You can get all the other Half-Lives. It's like when Bethesda came over to Xbox, and on Game Pass, all their Fallouts were on there.
Well, a lot of Valve's previous hardware endeavors have not fared
didn't do so well.
So there's a lot of hype around this, and that's fine. And it may be the best thing ever. I don't know. I'm going to reserve judgment and keep my expectations reason. I'm going to manage my expectations.
Right. Cautiously optimistic.
Yeah.
So, what I wanted to actually talk about too, which is a big deal for PlayStation. So Sony actually announced the internal additional hard memory finally. So they said that you were going to be able to expand the storage internally and shit for that. and they're like, nothing came of it. And then they said, check out the summer. Summer's here, and we finally get that Sony has announced that the M2 SSD support will finally be added to the PS5 in an upcoming update for their software for beta users, which I'm not a part of, but I'll wait. I don't need to have it. I can start working on getting my storage updated. So it needs to, where does it? So they offered further clarification over which M.2 SSD drives can and can't be used in conjunction with the console. As expected, it must be a PCIe Gen 4 NVMe drive, and Sony recommends a read speed of 5,500 megabytes per second or faster. So I looked that up. It will accept storage from, I think, 500 gigs up to 4 terabytes. And we'll see where I go. Yeah. I may do just a single terabyte, for it. I have an external hard drive for my PS4 games that's connected to it. And when I look at the price, I mean, a terabyte is $250. So a 4 terabyte, you're pushing like $700, which is, $800, shit like that. That's 2 PlayStations, for fucking memory. So, but it's really cool. I just wanted to put that out there that we're finally getting that, which is really fucking neat.
Hooray!
Right? It's no different than what Xbox did with they just have it more faster than what Sony did. So when they have that little card that fits into the back of the console, that's a terabyte, and that's $250. So I think now we're starting to get into that technology weed area where everything is going to be really awesome, but really expensive. Much like, plasma TVs, when those fuckers came out and it was $1,500 for a fucking 40-inch TV,
and now they're obsolete.
Exactly. So it will go down in price. I'm sure when Sony and Microsoft redesign their consoles, they're going to have bigger hard drives. So we'll see. But I thought it was really fucking neat to actually get that.
I think the biggest limitation right now is chip shortages.
Yeah, we need more of that.
And it's my understanding that Intel and what is the name of that? They're based in Taiwan. It's a semiconductor company based in Taiwan. Them and Intel are both supposed to be ramping up massive factories in the United States. So hopefully that will alleviate some of that shortage that we've been seeing.
I mean, we'll see.
I mean, that's still several years out before those are fully running.
So it'll be on, Xbox, whatever, and PlayStation 6. And whatever Nintendo has, but I mean, now you have the new Nintendo Switch, you have the new, the PlayStation 5, the Xbox Series S, Series X, you have the Steam Deck. So I'm sure that the chip shortages and shit like that will affect these new iPhones that are going to be coming out, or Androids, whatever. So we'll see. So I think a lot of people, once they get it, hold on to it, because that'll be your way to play until this shit, until we get to the other side.
Yep. I know this is a little off topic, but speaking of, technology factories and things of that nature.
Yeah, talk to me. Give it to me.
There is a company called Core Power, Kore.
I like their spelling.
Huh?
I said I like how they spell that. Mortal Kombat.
They are a battery cell technology company. And they are going to be building a new manufacturing facility out here in Buckeye, not far from my house. And this place is going to be a $1 billion build.
Fucking career change, Dan. Get it, buddy.
They're going full tilt out here. This is the 3rd major manufacturing facility that's been announced out here. They just finished one warehouse. They're in the process of building a 2nd warehouse and manufacturing area, and this is going to be a 1 million square foot facility.
Ooh.
At the cost of $1 billion for battery cell technology.
Fucking A.
Which is honest to God, like battery cell technology is the way of the future. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out here. Obviously, I'm guessing that's probably another 2 years away before it's finished. They just started the I-10 project out here. in this area, so they're starting to fuck around with traffic.
Yeah.
So who knows how much of a delay that's going to put on things, but I'm pretty excited about that happening.
Let's fucking do it, man. Let's switch over. Let's see if they're hiring once they get here.
Yeah, or more information. So, yeah, I'll keep an eye out for it. I'll keep an eye out for us.
Fucking A. Future plans. That's what we do here. All right, well, that's all that I have. Did you have any of those cards, or do we want to just skip that this week?
Oh, I have them if you want to do it.
Yeah, we can fucking do it.
Let's fucking do it.
Fucking do it.
Let me crack these bad boys open.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna show you a card to read to me.
Dude,
I'm not gonna look. Are you ready?
Yeah, here we go.
Okay.
Here we go. Hold on. All right, so I'm just gonna read it off to you. So this is gonna be Q&A with DNA, and A is gonna go first because Dan's holding the card up for me. So your question, Dan, if you could appear on any game show, which one would you choose?
Ooh.
This is Wheel of Fortune.
Is that what you would pick? I would not pick Wheel of Fortune.
I would not do Jeopardy. That's for fucking sure. I'm a stupid dum-dum. I would I would not make it at all. I think I would have a better chance at Wheel of Fortune. But this is your question, so...
Yeah, I feel like if I went on Wheel of Fortune, I would end up somehow being like Randy Marsh from South Park. So, what game show would I want to be on?
Newlyweds.
Well, that ship has sailed.
Oh, what's that? A Shop Till You Drop, right? Is that what it's actually called? Or
like Guys Grocery Games?
Yeah. Oh, you know what actually game would be fucking fun to be on? And I'm sorry, but Family Feud.
Family Feud would be fun. But I feel like I'd get annoyed really easily because
you have to be with your family and they'd probably say...
Well, it depends on who in my family I was with. Okay, that I will preface it with that. I would probably want to go on Double Dare.
Ooh, that would be a good one.
Because, I mean, watching that as a kid, just like doing ridiculous shit, getting slimed, getting smacked with that giant foam hand, like it all just looks like a ton of fun. And I
can hear you getting giddy.
I think that would be the most enjoyable for sure. Either that or American Gladiators would have been fun. The original one.
With Laser and Blazer.
Laser and Blazer. Yeah. So I think one of those. It depends on how, like, if I went back in time and I was a kid, Double Dare. Right now?
You can open up any game show. You can pull that to you, but you would have to be where you're at now. You have to be your age, your physical limitations in our old bodies.
Yeah. So with my age, it would probably, if I was like 10, 15 years younger, it would be American Gladiators. You know what? I'd probably still do American Gladiators today, but I would probably not win because I'm fat and old and my knees don't like me.
I mean, I don't give a shit. That's what I would still go on Wipeout, just to get my ass kicked because that show would be just fun.
What was the name of that show? It was on right after Double Dare where they went through like the temple. Do you remember what I'm talking about?
Yeah, we actually talked about this with one of the guys that stepped in. Legends of the Hidden Temple.
Yes.
And they're bringing that back.
No shit?
Yeah.
Oh, well, okay then.
I'd say go listen to the other episodes that you missed, but we talked about some serious spoilers on Loki and shit, so you don't do that. But look up Legends of the Hidden Temple. It's supposed to be coming out, I think, either this year. From what I looked up,
you would think I would be responsible and would have listened to those episodes.
No,
but like
I didn't think you were going to with being on vacation. That's why we did some serious spoilers.
I was unplugged, so I didn't listen.
Yeah, there's some serious spoilers, man. So
I'm a bad audience member. I'm sorry.
Don't worry about it. So, all right.
You've never been married, so I'm going to forego this question.
Thank you.
Yep, because it's specific to.
What was the question?
What's the secret to having a good marriage?
Don't get married. Everybody, don't get married. It's too late for you, Dan.
Zing, 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 zing. Okay. Oh, we've asked that question. I'm picking these randomly, and that's a question we've asked in the past. Okay, here we go. What would you most like to learn how to do on a computer?
Oh my God. I would like how to do a podcast better. That's going to be my answer because I don't give a shit about anything else, really. I mean,
like artwork.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. I would like to do digital artwork. You know, that would be on a computer. Yes, that's what I would like to do.
Like be a Photoshop master.
It's not just a Photoshop, but using my tablet, actually doing the artwork. Coloring, line art, line weight, and all that shit. So,
I feel like that question was weighted toward boomers.
Yeah.
I'd
like to be able to type 100 words a minute.
Yeah. I'd like to be able to send an email.
How do I get to my goddamn AOL?
And they wouldn't even, actually, you know what? I take it back. They wouldn't call it the electronic mail. How does that work?
Electronicbay.com. Yeah.
Okay, boomers.
I would do the artwork stuff. So, and the podcast.
Yeah, I think that would be fun for sure.
Yeah,
like the artwork stuff.
So, all right. Well, that's all the time we got, Dan. So that has been episode 7, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. And don't forget that we post each and every week about whatever it is we want to talk about. If you like that, please join us over on patreon.com/dandydigital, where you can write in and be part of the show and get the episodes early. If you have no bucks to toss our way, that is just dandy. Please find us and subscribe to us on YouTube and any of the podcast services and rate us to help us grow the show into something bigger and better. Until next time, we'll talk to you guys later.
Yeah, sayonara.